now joined by Romain Pai, and he's from the Africa Infrastructure Investment Managers. Romain, thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome. Pleasure.
Romain, let's look at the theme. It's the 20th anniversary of the Africa Energy Forum. Let's reflect on how far Africa has come in terms of power generation.
So I think the first thing is compared to maybe 20 years ago, where we were just at the beginning of the early IPPs on the continent. Now, if you're looking at a map and looking where the country which have embraced the IPP model, what we've seen is the map is getting quite colorful. So I think we've seen this widespread, and I think for AIIM, we have been at the forefront of this effort, both in South Africa, but also creating the first IPP in Nigeria, Azura, the first one in Ghana, Sand Powers, the first one in Mali, Albatros Energy, the first one, or the forthcoming one, and first in Burkina Faso, in Benin. So I think we've been very proud just to be at the forefront of this effort and drive the IPP model across the continent.
In terms of the work that AIIM does on the African continent, what are some of the challenges and barriers you've faced with doing business in Africa?
Unfortunately, on the challenges and obstacles, they have not really changed over the last 20 years. What we're seeing is, I think, mostly three big challenges, which are one, the utilities are not creditworthy. So we're seeing what we call non-cost reflective tariff. So people are paying less than it costs to generate, transport, and distribute the power. So that's not sustainable. We're still seeing quite what we call a lack of dynamic master planning. So people are not trying to put the power generation as part of a broader pictures. Again, you generate, but you need to dispatch to someone which is buying the power. And the last one, we've seen kind of a bit of a weakening from the kind of regulatory framework, government support to making these IPPs happen. So the macro environment has massively deteriorated. We're seeing across the continent most of the kind of the average debt to GDP being very close to 50%. So a less conducive environment for making IPPs.
What do you think needs to be done or needs to be changed so that 20 years from now we're not having the same conversation about the same challenges?
Well, I think it's just that everyone knows what needs to be done. What is lacking is political willingness. Now, I think we're reaching a different point in time where there are other solutions, and I think very soon people will be talking about distribution mix. What I mean is a lot of the attention has been the on-grid distribution. So, the typical thermal power plant connected to the grid. And I think we're seeing business model evolving, and now where off-grid power solutions are becoming very effective, reliable, and cheap. And we'll have something in the middle, which is either kind of captive power, mini grid, or kind of a distributed. And every country will look what is the right distribution mix which fit their needs.
Now, this forum is essentially a meeting of minds. What are you hoping would be the outcomes at the end of the conference this week?
For anything to happen, you need to bring a lot of stakeholders on board. So it's as much as exchanging with the public sector, the government, sharing experiences, making sure they understand what's the need and what needs to happen for this project to be real. But also just to meet our partners, could be operators, contractors, financiers, people providing a risk mitigation strategy like MEGA. So that's we all working together to achieve one outcome, which is not. We put more power on the grid, it's all good, but we still need to do much more. And what everybody wants is more deal happening.
Romain, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.